Welcome in, everybody. I do apologise for being a couple of minutes late, but you know what William's like. As soon as I go upstairs, it's Andrina, do this for me, do that for me. So I did make him a couple of cigarettes, guys. I do apologise. So tonight, guys, we've got a bit of a treat. It's a bit of a treat for me as well, because as you know, I'm Drew's Paranormal Vlog. But tonight we've got Misty. Now, your channel is Misty Mountains, okay? But it's Misty Mountains 1967 shown on the screen. So I've known Misty, guys, for a few years, much like Christina last week. Luna last week. I've seen her around a few communities for a few years. We've shared a couple of panels together as well. And we're in like the couple of private messenger groups and things together. So as you know, these shows are called One-to-One with Drew. And it's just really to get to know each other a little bit better about how we started and how our journeys connect, and just a little bit about you, really, and get to know you a bit. So, Misty, if you would like to tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself.
Well, to starters, I'm in the States now, but I am Canadian, born and raised.
All right.
I have Native American background. My great grandmother was, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the way the Native history went. At one point, a lot of the children were taken away from the different tribes and put into schools or put up for foster.
Yeah.
And my great grandmother was actually one of those. So there isn't a lot of background information about her.
Right.
Yeah.
So
a lot of my background comes from Native American beliefs.
Okay. Right, okay. So when did you move to the US then? As a kid, an adult?
An adult.
An adult? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, 11 years ago.
Good,
Actually,
good.
I met my husband and
yeah,
went from there.
Welcome in, everybody. Let's say hello to everybody who's in here first, because I just seen Hatchie come in. Hello, Hatchie. Nice to see you again. I've been given a garden gnome. What are you talking about? Oh, you've been given a garden gnome, Hatchie. Well, put him in the garden then. He's not good on being in your home. He's on garden gnome. So welcome. Sorry if you hear the rumbling up the stairs, guys. It is my teenage son and his friend. I think they're wrestling. They were playing darts, and then they were playing the punch bag, and I think they're actually wrestling each other now. So welcome in our beautiful sisters, Luna, Christina, our Hatchie Hatch. Oh, welcome
in
Stephanie. As well. Hi, Stephanie, sis, and our Kerry's here as well. So welcome in, everybody. These are all here waiting on us tonight again. Love that. We are actually going out tonight, guys, on Twitch and on X as well, which was formerly known as Twitter.
Wow.
My ceiling's going to come in. Honest to God. So welcome in, everybody. So, Misty, a little bit about yourself then, just in general. So are you open? Can you hear spirits, communicate with them, that type of thing?
I can hear them at times if they choose to let me. I see them as both energy, almost like a shimmer, I guess, for lack of a better way, or I've seen them manifest fully. Quite often it's more I recognize the energy pattern around me.
Yeah. So you probably see auras then. A lot of people can see auras when they're open.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I see auras, but not the way I've seen them described.
Right, okay. That doesn't matter as long as you're seeing them, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know that I'm a witch, and a lot of people don't like to either say they're a witch or not a witch. So let's just ask it this way. Are you spiritually open like all of us? Which means really just technically, are you aware of your spiritual self is what technically?
Oh, yeah. Very much so. I'm connected to the earth energies. And as a lot of you know, I have studied herbal medicine. I actually just graduated, so I'm on that path as well.
There you go. Brilliant.
And I'm a firm believer you constantly learn. You're never an expert on anything you do.
Oh, definitely. Because everything is different as well, as like I like to explain. There's never nothing the same. Every prayer you say is different. Every candle that you light is different reason. So there is nothing ever similar, unless you're making up a batch of paint oil or something, you know.
Yeah,
But even that,
and even that changes.
yeah, even that changes from the batch to batch. So you're totally right. So me, as a lot of you will know, I kind of spiritually opened about 40 because of a spiritual experience I had, and we'll not go into that because a lot of people already know that. So did you have any spiritual experience that opened you up, or do you feel as if you always had that gift in you?
I've always been connected to spirit. Um, when the day I was born, my mother snapped a picture of me in the hospital, and I had a Native American woman standing at the head of my bassinet.
Oh, wow.
She actually caught a full figure. Um, and you've actually seen her based on the pictures Christina did.
Yeah. That is absolutely amazing. That shows then that even before you were born, that connection was there with your native side. You know, that's amazing. They've
Yeah.
probably chose to come and protect you even more because your mum got separated, if you like, way back then. So that's amazing. Um, so I think a lot of us struggle. Well, I know I did. I struggled when I first opened up, and I didn't really know what my path was and things. It wasn't until I started to really essentially find all yous guys like Mystical, sorry, no Mystical, Uncle Danny, Sherry, Luna, and then eventually Mystical. So I find that through meeting all of yous, it kind of opened me up. Do you feel as much the same as being in this community for all these years that we've all slowly added little gifts and opened and things?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's definite.
Stephen?
I find, depending on the mood of the group, like the chat, the panel, and the people you're with, your energies will work together. And I don't want to say force a growth, but it kind of meshes and creates something new.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Sister, guys, I don't even know when she wants to do it, but Misty does want to do a little bit of an experiment tonight, and it's totally up to you, Misty, sis, when you want to do it. So anytime you want to do your experiment, just say, because she wants to just, I don't know if it's either to test her gifts or what you want to do. Just explain a little bit about that.
Just to see if I can show you guys the way some of my stuff works,
Yeah,
because it's hard to put into words. I do energy healing, but it's not Reiki.
right.
It's more, and like I astral project, but it's not really astral projecting because a lot of people do that when they're sleeping. I'm able to do it when I'm wide awake. It's like I keep one foot in the space I'm in, but I'm able to travel to other places
Wow,
and times.
that's interesting.
But by me being aware, it keeps me grounded.
Right, okay. See, I've heard the people do that before. I do believe it's called remote healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have tried it, guys, and this is the truth, and I'm not taking it away from Misty whatsoever here. But I remember my mum not so long ago saying she wasn't feeling well, and I tried my hardest to focus in on her pain. I think it was her shoulder or something. I can't remember. And I tried to do that, and slowly but slowly, I could feel myself connecting. So I think it's something that I really would like to hear more about how you do it and see. As it took me a
And
long time to master it.
I actually can't honestly say I have mastered it because for me, it's always been there.
Right, okay.
It's like, uh, no disrespect. I know I've got witch energy in me, but it's like all of my abilities, all my awarenesses have always been there.
Yes. See, it's
It's
who you are.
always like I can. It's gonna sound quirky, guys, but there's time I can't meditate because when I meditate, it opens my energies. Um, which I'm very connected to nature, as you most of you
Yeah.
that know me know. What happens when I calm myself to meditate is it's like it's a sending out a beacon to all of the spirits,
Yes.
all of the wildlife that's anywhere within my radius and my pets. And it's like, oh my God, she's calling us. We have to be there,
Through
type
the
of thing. So I get it from all sides. Like if you go to my channel, just explain a little bit about the nature part of it, just so you know where I'm coming from here, guys. Um, I always, anytime I go into nature or even out my front door anymore, I have wild animals come up to me.
Hmm.
It's not that I control them. It's not anything like that. Like if I was walking with somebody else, I couldn't guarantee that that animal would not do what they would naturally do.
Yeah.
Like, as in, if they sense anything, they could potentially attack. They could do anything. I have no control over that.
Yeah.
But what happens, like a good example, we have a lot next door to us. Anybody who's been to my channel knows the layout of most of what's around me.
Yeah.
We have deer giving birth in our lot all the time.
Wow.
We had a doe give birth to a fawn last year or the year before. I can't remember exactly. I think it was the year before. But it was still wet.
Right.
And my husband's out cutting our front yard. I'm doing work in the garden. And this little fawn toddles across the driveway from the lot and comes and sits in front of me. Like it lays down in front of me. Mom's right there.
Wow.
And so I picked it up, moved it back to the lot, and went back to what I was doing. Next thing I knew, it's coming across the driveway again and comes and climbs on my lap.
Wow.
And like my husband is kind of,
wow.
my husband's worried because like most time deer are protective of their baby. Any animal is protective of their babies.
Yes.
And like my husband, I think it was a couple of months after that, my husband actually posted a video on my channel. This deer came back to me, the fawn, as it was growing up. And I'm actually sitting there feeding it.
Wow.
I'm sitting on the ground and it came right up to me, and the rest of the family was all around.
Wow.
And like I've been walking, I spend a lot of time. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Alberta at all, but
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
spend my weekends hanging out in the mountains, walking the trails, just doing whatever. And I've had bear walk with me. I've had cougars walk with me. I had a mom cougar bring her baby up to me.
Wow.
Birds come to me.
The vibration that they must pick up from you, then they must know that you're on the same like wavelength as them and that you're okay.
Yeah. Well, when I was a baby, my parents lived in a not so great house. Like it was pretty rundown. And my mom has photos of me with a lynx or a bobcat, depending on how you want to look at it, in the crib with me, and I've got its face like this in my little hands.
Wow.
Holding it to me.
There you go.
And wolves used to come in. She would see the footprints, type of thing. She's got pictures of me covered in butterflies.
Wow. See, the thing is, then, do you notice then with some of your pets if they fall no well? Because I've noticed with Sparkle a couple of times, if I feel that and I'll just sit and clap her, and then usually you'll see a difference in her within a couple of hours. Do you feel that with your own pets?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And I feel that with people too. Like even the people in chat, I can pick up if I focus. No, actually, Diane, it was perfectly fine.
Yes, what she's saying. The baby deer's mom never left him after you touched him. So the probable thing is the mother probably knew that she was okay as well. So let the baby, or there would have been something happened at that moment. So she must have knew that you were okay. She's probably
Hi, Tina.
Around your energy for years.
Welcome. Oh yeah. I'm very sure they're aware of my energy. Because that takes me to the other thing that I'm able to do sometimes. I am able to form enough of a, if you want to call it telepathic, for lack of a better way of describing it, link with the animals around me. Like I can close my eyes and I can tell what's around me.
Right.
I can actually, if they will allow it, and like you'll find, guys, a lot of the energies that you work with, there has to be consent.
Yeah.
In order to do your workings, you have to have consent. You have to have intent. For me, it's like I can fly with them. If it's a bird, I can see through their eyes. I can tell what they're feeling, and they do have feelings. It's just more basic, more like food, water, shelter,
Yes.
that type of thing. Like they
Bible
don't
type
have
of
the
thing.
emotions that we have.
Right.
It's more basic, but it's all pretty much the same. Like we're all connected.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
if you guys have ever seen the movie Avatar,
I've
the
not
part
seen, but
where
I've
they talk about the connections with the plants and with the
right.
nature,
Okay.
that's very true.
Right. See, I'm hoping that's true because my new business that I want to do, which is the woodland walks and things, that's what I want to try and do. I want to try and sit down in nature and try and connect to the energies of the plants, the trees, and things like that. So
And
that's
if you make yourself open for it, it'll happen.
good. I'm going to work on that definitely in the next few weeks to make sure that when I do go into the woodlands and things that, because that day I heard the tree talking to, is that the one outside? I,
Talking.
I could talking to, heard it talking to me, and I knew the energy, and I thought I've felt that energy before, so it makes
Hmm.
me wonder if maybe they've reached out to me before and I've just not heard it.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for sharing out. Thanks, Luna.
Yeah. It's everybody's energy works differently.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of paranormal stuff goes on around your home, Misty, and I don't know how much of that you want to share or not. But so do you feel that a lot of the paranormal stuff that happens is because of your energy then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And it's up to you how much you share about all that. I know
oh
it's
no, no, I'm just trying to think of how to explain it that it's
yeah,
not, because you got to understand something, guys. I'm not in what I do to scare people.
sure. Hmm.
I'm more into it to make people aware that their loved ones are with them all the time.
Yeah.
They have energies around them all the time. It's just there's a difference in the ability to connect.
Yes. That's what I'm
So
trying to
it's not like I'm not a fear monger. I would never try and make somebody afraid.
the first I remember one of the first live streams that I watched yous all in. I think it was you, probably Luna, and maybe Beth. I'm not sure. And you were in your kitchen. Well, the cameras were in your kitchen, and
Yeah.
you knew that the spirits were going to do it when you asked them. I think they were moving something up at your door, and they were playing with it. And I think you
Hmm.
were actually telling them to play with it through your mind or whatever it was you were doing. And that was
I think in that case, what you're talking about, it was probably we had asked them for confirmation that they were there because we were running a spirit box.
yes, yes. And I thought it was amazing. I thought it's the first time I've really seen it so apt. I mean, I know we can all sit and say, "Spirits, can you please touch the cat ball or something?" But it was
Hmm.
the first. It's really the first time that I've seen somebody do it in their home, where the spirits are doing actually absolutely everything you're telling them one by another.
Yeah.
And it's really fascinating to watch, guys. And you'll need to subscribe and go watch. So so do you
Yes.
know who
There,
all these spirits are? Are they spirits that are your guides or the spirits you
some of
know?
them, it varies. There's some that are here all the time, but then like I live near a Civil War battleground.
All
So
right,
I have a lot of soldiers that are here.
right.
And like don't get me wrong, they've crossed, but they
Uh-huh.
can choose to come back.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Like it just
Yeah.
depends on what they are doing at the time or what they need to
Yeah,
do.
maybe on your stream, Lunar, it could have been. Yeah. It's just so fascinating. It's fascinating to. That's what I'm trying to tell people is see, once you get that connection, once you
Mhm.
truly know that it's spirit you're talking to.
See, with me, I've had, like I said, I've had that connection all the time. To
Yes.
me, I never realized that this wasn't the way things were.
Right, so you're the opposite to all us then. We were trying to be convinced that this was it, and you just knew it
Yeah,
was.
like I was constantly from the time I could walk, even when I was like 6 months old and just starting to sit. Like I started talking when I was 8 months old.
Right.
My mom said I started talking full sentences, and it was like I would be talking in a conversation to somebody else
Yeah.
that wasn't there, but I was talking like back and forth. Like she knew I was talking to somebody. It wasn't just babbling
Yeah.
type of thing. So like I've always been aware of that connection. And quite often I'll see them the same as like you.
Yeah.
Or like they're there.
Yeah.
And I have had instances where I've reached out and actually touched them.
All right. That's
And
interesting.
that's a consent thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Where like
Yeah.
they feel comfortable to utilize their energy in that way.
And I
And
think
it's
they know
trust.
when you're ready. I think Spirit knows, because now looking back in my journey, I do believe that Spirit knew I wasn't ready way back then. I think they know that I'm more ready than I was. And that's probably why I'm more open now to all the different things that I'm
Yeah,
receiving and things.
they'll only show themselves or manifest in to the extent that they know that you are ready for. They're
Yeah,
not looking to scare you necessarily.
sure.
So it's
Yeah.
the same as if you lose a loved one and you do the spirit box and you do all that and they don't come through. It's
Mhm.
because they know in your grief cycle you aren't ready.
Yes. Yeah, I've told people that. I think it was about 2 years before Billy actually came through the box.
Mm-hmm.
When I spiritually opened and I started and I turned on the box, and when I realised that it was all real and I had then connected, it was a spirit that said the name Billy. It wasn't Billy that came through the box, but at that point I knew through different things that they were saying that that was me. I was connected in that realm where I knew spirit was there.
Mm-hmm.
Because before that, it was all just radio, jibble jabble. There was no words I could even recognise as to do with anything
Mm-hmm.
to do with my life. So I think
Yeah.
that's important to know that, guys, that you've got to know, you've got to, it's just so different. It's a different mind wave, if you like, that you're into that voice in your head. You've just got to know what voice it is you have to listen to. Have
Yeah.
you got any advice for anybody opening up then, Misty?
Um take your time.
Yeah.
Allow it to happen. Like don't try and force it. It'll happen when it's meant to happen. I think everybody has abilities. It's just through life we get away from them or we're taught not that it's not real.
Yeah. Was Hatchie said, how was the Hatchie wanting to see if there was something that she could heal on him?
Um it all depends, Hachi. It depends
Yeah.
on the connection. There's a lot of factors.
How
It
come I
depends on the energy levels that are there.
mm-hmm. See,
Quite
I think
often.
that's another thing I was trying to say the other day. I had done a live stream about not everybody should paranormal investigate, or should everybody paranormal investigate, I think the title was. Is a lot of people's got to remember, sometimes when the energy comes in, with me, it used to make me feel as if I was taking a panic attack, guys, and that's
Yeah.
the truth. Now I know I'm not going to take a panic attack, that it's just spirit. I know to breathe through it and I know I'll be fine. But I think a lot of people forget that you're connecting to an energy. And sometimes that energy, you'll be able to tell them more than me. Sometimes that energy is more intense than others. I'm lucky that a lot of the energies that come around me, I recognise as family. I recognise as maybe Mr. Mackenzie or Timber and things. Have you ever had anything around you, Misty, that's maybe a little bit more intense and a little bit more of the darker side? Or do your guides totally block that?
Um I have had encounters with negative email. I don't like calling them demons,
Sure.
but there are negative energies just like they're good energies. Um a lot of people choose not to work with them,
Yeah.
but I will, if you don't mind, throw in one caution there
Yeah.
about that. I have noticed watching a lot of paranormal channels that they're deliberately seeking those energies for thrills or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember, guys, the energy you put out there is what's going to be what is attracted to you. The
Yeah.
same as in witchcraft, the energies you put out are going to be returned to you.
Yeah. Yes.
So you have to be careful. You have to use your protections, even when you're doing spells. Um, just be careful. Be aware of what you are seeking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And be careful what you're seeking.
That's that. That's what I tried to say. I mean, I know that sometimes when, especially places like Greyfriars and things like that, I now looking back thought I was really silly to go somewhere like that when I was first starting out. And that was the caution to me now, that I would probably not do that now if I was to restart my journey all over again with that type of thing. So I think we've got to recognise that sometimes these entities will draw you in there because they know that you've not got your protection up and things.
Yeah,
So
you have to go with your gut.
yeah.
If your gut is saying this is not where I'm meant to be, then don't be there.
Yeah, I
For
think I
sure.
was excited to get out ghost hunting away back then, and I'd have went anywhere, to be honest.
I would love to have the opportunity to go out with you, Drew.
Oh, I would love to have a chance to go out with all you guys, honestly. See, I don't know. See, because I'm here myself, nobody ever really talks to me about this stuff, and I feel the energies around me and things, and sometimes I'm just here myself doing it, and then other times I'm on line with you guys. It's all like mediums can see spirits and things, and I'm tempted to ask you sometimes if you see anything around me and things. But then I think if you've seen anything around me, you would tell me. But sometimes I get really, really curious to see, do you ever see anything around me? What do you see around me, you know? Because I don't know.
Quite often, okay, I'm going to say something, promise. I don't tend to say a lot, guys, because I've always got in the back of my head, like, I'm worried if I say something, are they going to be freaked out and not be
I
able
would
to
never be
sleep
freaked
and
out.
not want to be in their home?
Yeah.
Type of thing. So I'm very leery about saying stuff. But yes, you do usually have at least one or two with you.
I think it's my
And
uncle.
you can see them in the background, but
Right.
it's not in a threatening way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you may see your light flicker once in a while, and what that is their energy is breaking the connection of the electrical.
Yeah.
It's not that they're meaning to scare you, it's just they're there.
Yeah.
They may not necessarily, depending on the age of the spirit, be aware that they're able to do that even.
Sure, that's
You
just
got to
shit.
remember, guys, it's a learning experience for them as much as it is for us.
Exactly. I mean, I think sometimes, see, I'm starting to get used to their energy. I always feel as if my Uncle Gordon stays at this side of me, and I always feel as if my Uncle Andrew stays at the left side of me. And I feel when my gran's in, she comes in only herself, and it's usually she'll come in when I'm either doing prayers or I'm doing some sort of healing something. So I'm getting used to the different energies coming in for different things. But as for people that are around me all the time, I do believe it would be my uncles, because I was really close to my uncles, my mum's two brothers. So, and they always looked at me as their little, because I always ran up and gave them cuddles and always wanted to sit in their knee and things. I think they take it upon themselves to be my protector. So I think it's them that's around me constantly. So that's probably what you see if you see shadows and things. That's what I feel anyway.
Yeah, I've seen Mr. Mackenzie around you a couple of times as well.
Protector. Yeah, he does protect me, I think. And he's in a lot just now because of something that's going on that I did share in the clan group. So he's here a lot just now. So yeah, and do you think then, Mister? Do you think it was because I was nice to him? Do you think it was because I connected to him on a 1-to-1 level, and I didn't want
to be honest, it's more of an ancestral connection.
Oh wow! Right, that's interesting. Need to look at.
It's more what I picked. That has part of it, what you're saying, Drew. But there's more of a. Yeah, it's an ancestor connection.
Oh, I'm actually quite happy that a lot of people would be. No, I'm actually quite pleased. I'm related to Mr. Mackenzie. Actually, I feel type of proud. And listen, for the Scottish people that's listening, I'm not looking at him as bloody Mackenzie right now. I'm looking at him on a human level, as a human of somebody that. Everybody did bad in life, guys, and everybody's done things that they should never have done. So all you can do is hopefully when you cross over, be forgiven. So I'm looking at that side of Mr. Mackenzie, that I'm proud to be related to him, because for all he did slaughter or do what the king wanted him to do, he still had to look after his own.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of people got to remember that there's a lot of external pressures on people at any point in time. And it just depends on the situation, how somebody's going to act or react.
Yeah. Because I feel as if he hadn't been like on the king's side, then he would have been one of the enemies, and him and all his family would get slaughtered and things too. So I think that he had to make the decision as a grown man with all this power that he had, all his family and things. It was fully. I mean, they all were intertwined in it. There was a 2 or 3 of his brothers politicians or
Yeah,
whatever.
he was in that one. He was in one of those no-win situations. No
Yeah, see,
matter which way he
yeah.
went.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Means a lot to me, by the way, because I kind of fight Mr. Mackenzie's corner a lot and I get a lot of backlash for it. So I'm glad you said that.
And
Thank
you've got to remember something else, guys. The stories that are written by man.
you.
They
Yes.
are not necessarily true depictions of what happened at that time. Like the winner always writes the story, the loser very rarely ever does.
That's true, isn't it? Because I mean, in a lot of, and especially way back in those days. I mean, I don't know so much about Canada and America, but in Scotland, if you ever get the chance to come here, guys, a lot of the castles and things that you do step foot on, it's not all joy and brilliant. A lot of it, you feel that doom and gloom. And I think because of way back then, people got punished so easy, So a lot of the castles, the residual evidence, the residual energy is pretty bad. And you've got to kind of fight your way through that, just to let you know. So, right, so if there was anything else you would like us to know about you, what else would you like to share, Misty, about your journey?
Um, it's been tough opening up to people.
Right.
Um, I guess so. Bear with me, guys. I'm still learning. Everything's a learning process here.
Oh,
So, like, I've been focusing more on being on other people's panels and helping other people. And everybody's pushing me, oh, you got to do stuff with your channel type of thing. So, I'm planning on doing more of that down the road.
yeah.
Um, but if you guys are interested in experiment, I'm able to do it. And I'll warn you in advance. You may or may not see stuff in the background of my camera. Don't worry if you do.
Because you're terrible.
What I'm going to ask you guys all to do is if you're open to receive energy, put a yes in the chat because it's all about consent. Okay. Looks like it's going to be yes. And I'll explain a little bit about what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of focus because I don't meditate. What I'll get you guys to do is just kind of close your eyes and in maybe a half a minute or whatever, as soon as you feel something, if you feel so, you may not feel anything. What I want you to do is put in one word or a sentence, if possible, what it is you feel. And it's going to be different for each of you. There is no right or wrong answer. Like you may feel a temperature change, you may feel tingling, anything, because everybody's energy is different. And my energy is going to react differently with your energies. Okay, I'm going to start, guys. Okay. Okay, what did you feel, guys? You're muted, sure.
I do it all the time. Yeah, I felt my back get a bit colder. I was sitting concentrating. I felt as if there was a cold chill going down my back, and that's
Like
what I
you're
always get.
almost like somebody is touching your energy field,
Yeah.
and you're just kind of feeling it.
Yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
always feel spirit though. Is either my shoulders or my back. It's always well, always there.
Yeah. That's very possible, Diane.
Wow. That's interesting.
Kim, you've had headaches in the last little bit. In the last 24 hours, you've had a headache.
There you go.
Like quite often when I do a healing, I see it. Like, have you guys seen in biology books the diagrams of the body?
Yeah.
That's how I picture things.
Right.
Like my husband does healing as well, but with him, it's like he sees a stoplight. And when he gets close to what needs healing, it'll change color.
All right.
For me, it's like the organ or whatever actually lights up.
That's interesting, isn't it? Knee pain, Scott says. Wow. See, that's interesting. See, as well.
Scott, I just want to ask Scott something.
Yeah.
Scott, have you had problems with your niece in the last 2 months or 3 months? Because I find my energy usually goes to whatever part of the body needs the energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's weird because I was slouched as well. So
yeah, with you have nerve.
my posture's well off. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I'm always slouching. Even when I sit in my bed, I'll sit like with my knees folded, but I'll lean like my elbows on my knees. So I've always got an arched back. Always.
Yeah, see, my energy seems to be drawn to wherever there's a problem.
Yeah, and that's true.
You'll tend to feel, as I work energy, like Mary could probably describe it. You said you felt it the one time. Sherry has felt it. It's like it warms up over time.
Yep.
And did anybody notice anything going on? Because I didn't. I'm not aware of half of the stuff that happens here. I'm so used to it, I don't see it.
Yeah, you get like that. I'm getting like that with the shadows and things out the corner of my eye. I need to focus now to see
But
them.
you will notice if there's something different.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
I will say that. So yeah, like it's one of those things I think most people can do. Like you can heal yourself. Like it's called biofeedback.
Right.
And it utilizes. I'm gonna just take my picture off so I can have a cigarette, guys. I don't like smoking on camera.
Yeah, I'll do it as well, guys. Right, because I want a cigarette as well. So.
Oh, you just dropped us right off.
They still hear us. You're okay. You can talk. I'll put the big screens up.
Okay, no problem.
Guys.
Thank you, Drew.
Yeah, they'll still hear us.
But yeah, like the biofeedback.
Yeah.
It works in that you can move. Let's say, for example, you have a pain in your shoulder. So you just kind of close your eyes, do whatever makes you comfortable. You don't have to close your eyes. You don't have to do that. Just kind of picture that pain moving, let's say, down your arm, into your elbow, down through your hand to your fingertips, and then it just kind of drips off and it's gone. You're releasing that pain and that energy into the universe.
Right.
It's not going to heal you, it's not going to cure you, but it may make your symptoms a little bit easier to handle.
Right. See, I've tried a few times if I've got a sore side or something to really focus in on it and try and like focus my energy. I've even held a crystal in my right hand and tried to rub like my side with my left hand, like essentially ask the guides for the healing through the crystal to put to like my side if I'm sore or something. I've done it with my head and things as well, and it just goes away instantly. But it's interesting you say that, because that Mark Bajewski from the Pure Clinic, that's what he does. He'll hold a crystal in one hand, reach up to the gods essentially, and then that's how he does his healing. Through his other hand, he'll heal people. So, I'll put my camera back on, I'll show you what I mean, guys. So, he'll basically have a crystal in this hand and he'll hold it up. Or is the crystal maybe in this hand? I'm not sure, maybe even two.
Usually the crystal's in the receiving hand.
Right, okay, and then with this hand,
the non-dominant one,
essentially do this. And I don't think he actually touches a person. I think he's just like pushing the energy.
Yeah, he's working with the energy field.
So I've learned to do that, and I've felt it a little bit, guys. Do it. See if you can connect. It's interesting.
And you know what, guys? You can find out how far out your energy or your aura actually goes by just running your hand a distance away, and you'll be able to feel it.
Right.
Even without touching, and that'll tell you.
We could try that.
And everybody's, depending on what's going on, your energy field either gets tighter to your body or further out.
Pray to do your support, King Chucky. Put me right. Jay. Yeah, it's interesting. I love it because I think, see, that's another thing that Uncle Danny, I think, was saying to us when we were in a meeting as well, is each of us need to remember the energy that we've got. And we've got that energy for a reason, so a lot of us will be using it for different reasons. I think a lot of the time, my strength is my talking to people. Like, people listen to me for some reason, I don't know why. You can understand me.
Yeah. Well, to tell you how bad it is, Drew, I've had people come into, anybody that's got a channel has had trolls.
Oh, yes.
It's a given.
Yeah.
But how many of you can say that you've had trolls that have been real jerks to start with, but then turned around and actually enjoyed and subbed to your channel?
Yes.
That happens to me all the time.
Well, let me tell you a little story that is going on right now in my life, okay? So, a couple of weeks ago, this lady, and I won't say any names because she's from my town, asked me if I'd do her a tarot reading. I said, yes, that'll be £25. No, sorry, she messaged me saying, if you're so psychic, tell me about myself. And I says, I never said I was psychic. But if you want to know about yourself, pay £25 for 40 minutes in a tarot reading and I'll tell you about yourself. So she went straight to my Facebook, my Messenger, different friends I've got. She even messaged William, and I'll tell you about that one in a minute. She stays over the back from me. I can see her house right now, right in the corner. And she says, all on Facebook, try to get their. Why do you believe in Drina? Why you believe in that? What? I don't understand why you believe all this rubbish. She's messaging people I know on in Les Mexico in different places. So today, William went to the shop and his phone was lying, and the message came through for this lady saying, "Why do you believe a word she says?" So I went on it and I says, "I believe a word she says, but it's because it's all true, and you'd be silly not to believe it." So she's been messaging him back and forward all day saying that all of this is mumble jumble, that we're all going to hell and blah, 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 and all that. I says, listen, you just stay around the corner from me. Why don't you just come round and have a conversation with me instead of going back and forward on Messenger?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. An orb just went up past your head there, Drew.
Mine's right. Probably because I'm getting, I know. I just think this, and do you want to know where it all stems for, guys, is because a lot of people in this town is curious to what I do, but they don't really want to ask, or they're scared to ask. I don't know. So they just kind of nitpick at me, if you like, or try and get people not to talk to me, that it's mumble jumble and things like that. So
Yeah, a lot of it is fear of the unknown.
That's what it is. It's fear. Yep. Well, put it this way, I think I shocked her when I told her I knew exactly who she was and she stayed over the back from me, because I don't think she knew that I knew that. So I proved her point straight away.
Yeah.
It's just so silly. Sometimes you think that people are that curious and they want to believe. A lot of them really, really want to believe in it. Back to that old way in their head, like, no, this is all rubbish. It's not real. It's something that was told to scare the kids to stay out of the woods and things. And a lot of that was told to the kids to stay out the woods, you know what I mean? But most of it is real. It's just a lot of the entities and energies in the woods will leave you alone as long as you're leaving them alone. And as long as you're not destroying trees and pulling apart branches and flowers and things just for the sake of it, you know? So what's chat saying? They're very active.
Yeah, they're kind of talking in between themselves.
All right. There's a lot of people who feel like if you talk to spirits, you're doing the devil's work. Exactly. Them, not us. Exactly, Christina. And the thing is, she's the one that's been asking for tarot readings and things all along. Do you know what I mean?
Some of the things that you come across the spirit box, guys, aren't necessarily negative spirits.
Exactly.
When you think about it, depending on what time they're from, that's the exact thing they may be thinking, is that it's a devil or a demon reaching out and trying to call and attack them.
There you go.
You don't know.
Well, exactly. See, I always say as well that I feel the gatekeeper is there at a lot of cemeteries as well to protect a lot of the spirits that's in there from some of us who might have attachments. It can work that way as well. Because a lot of us maybe not know we've got attachments, so he's got to keep his cemetery safe. So a lot of it, if you look at it,
there's actually gatekeepers at all cemeteries.
Oh yeah, Mystical told us that, yeah, and I never knew that right up to about last year. Well, I knew they were there, but I didn't really know that you were to address them when you wanted to talk to spirits and things. I just thought they were kind of there to keep an eye on things. But from I started doing what Mystical told me to do, just address them, ask them if it's okay, maybe even give them a little offering. I've had great communication in cemeteries before I started that. You know?
Yeah, like I could be totally off field here, guys, but I think there's more to this world than we even know about. Like we've just barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, definitely. There's got to be. I mean, even if when you sit here outside and you look, when it's a clear night and you sit and stay, I'm looking at this window because I can always see that in a clear night. And you look right up away, and there's so much, guys. There's so much. Lights come from here, lights come from there, shooting stars, and then you'll see stars appear. There's so much goes on that it's got to be so much more. There's just got to be, you know.
Yeah.
Scott, you can get a steroid shot, but I would do that if you can't take the pain or it swells up and get money movement for the heart. Let me tell you, buddy, they work. All right, is that something you are talking about, Luna? Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Bud Files. So we're getting to know Misty Mountain a little bit better tonight.
And there's, like you asked about awakening, there are so many people that are awakening and realizing just even a little bit of what's out there. That there's a lot of energy in the world right now. There's a lot of confusion because of that, because everybody is like, everything you do puts out energy, whether you're aware of it or not.
Yeah.
So right now there's a massive, because everybody is leveling up, I guess is one way of describing it.
Yeah.
There's like an excess of energy.
See, I know there's negative energy around guys trying to stop our journey, and I'll tell you why I know this. Every single time I achieve something, something happens that tries to draw me back to my anger, push me out. The day, and I'm not joking you, I walked out for graduating for the business school last week.
I'm done smoking now if you want.
Come back. Back up. I walked out for where it was to the bus stop, and somebody that had a problem with my mother started to get into my face and said, see you, next time you tell your mother. And I was like, here, wait a minute. I am not even going back to my old self, because she knows, this person knows what I'm like. I had to stop myself. I was thinking, Adrena, do not do this. This is you going back in the world. And I says, listen, you're lucky that I have just walked out of there and graduated, because see, if I'd been last week, you know what you'd have got. But listen, guys, this is what will happen. The minute you go up a level, there'll be things trying and pull you back to try and sway you off your journey.
Yeah, because they don't want you to level up. They don't want you to realize how much we can affect our own world.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of the negative that's around that tries to do that. I think there's a lot of like negative waves that just kind of floats around and tries to scrub out anything. Look, if you're standing full of joy, maybe even singing away in your little head, and maybe all of a sudden you feel like something really depressing coming into your head, you're like, why did I think of that all of a sudden? It's these negative waves that go around trying to stop all the positivity. Especially if you're outside, you feel it. I don't feel it so much in my home, but maybe if I'm standing at the bus stop or something and I'm just kind of being jolly, thinking a song or something, and then you'll feel something all of a sudden come into your head and you think, why did I think of that? And that's what it is, Misty, isn't it? It's this negative trying to stop your journey.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, guys, with all of the isolation that's been happening over the last 5, 6, and it's even before the issue with the vaccines and stuff. It started before that. Everybody is more isolated. Everybody is more, the only contact is through the internet.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Like there's not as much one-on-one, person to person as there used to be. So it's harder to learn and it's harder to grow.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many people out there that's false. I've had loads, no, I wouldn't say loads of friends online. I would say I've had a few people online that I've started to be friends with, and then their true colours show, and you think, this is not who you portray. So I've kind of had to walk away from a lot of people because of that. Or there's certain people.
And you'll find that.
Yeah, and they're just not who they are, guys. And do you want to know what it is? It's them trying to fit into places that they don't fit, and really you should feel sorry for them, because they're trying to grab at different communities to fit in. But when they realise these communities aren't for them, they kind of turn against you. Especially, and that's a lot with all the messenger groups are like in Facebook. That's why I only have a few now. Is because a lot of the messenger groups are just a place to be negative about people in the Facebook group. So a lot of these Facebook groups, I don't even bother going into their private chat, because you find that's all it is. It's a place to bitch about other people. So the groups that we guys are all in is a place of positivity. We always keep each other upbeat and things like that. And I think there's a lot more of that in the world, like Lunar's group, Christina's group, Uncle Danny's group, my clan group, me and Cindy Sherry's and Mystical's clan group and things. If there was more groups like that built each other up instead of tearing each other down, there would be so many other people in the community settled in life, want to take this journey, believe in it a little bit more as well, because some people I've noticed will say, yeah, I'm spiritual, I want to be interested in witchcraft and things. And then the minute you start to explain to them, right, okay, you need to calm down, collect yourself, do this, they want everything now.
Yeah.
You know, they want to put the time in. Andrina, you've learned it, so tell me what you learned and I can do it too. It doesn't work like that. You know, I can't just tell you what I know.
And you got to realize, like I said earlier, everybody has abilities, but I see so much, like you're talking about the negative, where people aren't growing and learning the way they want to. And it's frustrating. So they take that frustration out on the others.
Yeah.
And say, okay, you're not telling the truth. You're not got those abilities. Don't judge, guys, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You're not that person. You don't learn the same way. You don't act the same way.
Yeah. I would never call anybody a liar about anything they've said they've
Mhm.
seen, experienced. No, because we don't know what path they're in. We don't know the travels they've took. So
Yeah,
nobody can ever call anybody a liar about anything. I
yeah,
mean, I'm a great believer in, if you do tell lies about this journey, you're only fooling yourself. Do you know what I mean? You are only trying to fit into this space because you've not found where you've truly fit in yet.
yeah,
And that is the case with a lot of these guys. That's okay, as long as you truly find yourself at the end of it. You
yeah,
know? Yeah. So, Misty,
yeah.
do you go out ghost hunting at all? Are you one that's got your own team or anything?
Um, I go out with my husband. There's not too many where I live that are so much into the paranormal.
Okay.
Like for me, with my energies and the way everything seems to be attracted to my energies,
Yeah.
I kind of tend to steer away from doing home investigations for people
Yeah.
just because I don't want my energies to maybe potentially stir up more than what they're
Sure.
already experiencing. If that, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because I was scared of that when I did that girl's house in Glasgow about a couple of
Hmm.
months ago, because I was myself and it was the first thing I had ever really done myself. Usually I would have maybe wanted one of my sisters to be online with me.
Yeah,
The first thing I'd actually went and done myself, I was a wee bit scared of that myself, but I
yeah.
just built my confidence right up, made sure Timber was with me and I knew he was here, and I went and done it. So I get that, Misty, I get that.
And like I do investigations. Mine are all primarily during the day because you can get stuff during the day as much as you can at night.
And you see better. You,
Yeah.
you see all the heads
Well,
and
let's
things.
face it, much as I hate to say it, when I was growing up, you could wander the woods, you could go wherever you wanted and not have fear because you knew your neighbors and
Yeah,
they knew you. In this day and age, with everything going on in the world, all of the anger, you don't know. You could walk out your front door
yeah,
and you don't know what's waiting for you out there. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable being a woman walking somewhere into a graveyard, even with my husband and people there. You
yeah. I
don't
get
know if
that.
there's like, and nothing against homeless people because I
Yeah,
know three-quarters of them are there not of their own free will.
no, yeah.
But you don't know how desperate somebody else might be.
And all the cemeteries up here, guys, is full of homeless. As you've seen when I went to Edinburgh, and as you've seen when I went to Stirling, there's a few quilt covers and things at Stirling as well.
Yeah.
So there's definitely homeless there as well. And it's understandable. You'll sleep anywhere if you're desperate, you know.
Mm.
Um,
Like I always try and meet everybody with compassion
oh yeah. Hmm.
because I don't know what their story is. I don't know where they are in their life.
That's why I was saying everybody's had such. I mean, especially once you get to like my age at 52, a
Hmm.
lot of the mistakes I've made in life, I think I was, especially when I was younger, I think I felt like I was entitled to somebody else giving me everything I needed in
Yeah.
life. You know, I thought, because my dad was such a great husband to my mum, my dad went out working all the time. He brought in a wage. We always had, so I assumed that when I found somebody, I was going to get all this. And I think probably naivety, because I was only 17, but I assumed at some point that's what my life would build up to. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's me being stupid that age, realising that I should take my own dreams into my own hand. But I
Yeah.
think through time I've learned that lesson pretty well, guys. It's just that I'm now 52 and learned that my future is in my own hands, nobody else's, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hindsight is 100%. But I also
Laugh
believe, Drew,
myself when I think about it.
I believe that we go through trials and tribulations and joys because they help us become the person we're meant to be.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all worth it in the end. Guys, when I held my little granddaughter today, Aurelia, in my arms, and she was all fully beans, and it's the first time I've seen her for a good few weeks, and I see the difference in her already. But
Hmm.
because I was there when she would, my mum's like, she'll not even recognise you, you've not been down that long. And I says, ah, she will, wait, see this. And as soon as I looked at her, she connected and laughed. And I
Oops,
says,
sorry,
that's
guys.
because I was there when she was born. We'll always have that connection. My eyes met hers. It was the same with Zach. it was the first person's eyes that she seen. I said, we'll always have that bond now. So she did, she smiled straight away. But see, things like that warms my heart. I can live on that feeling of love and bonding now for weeks and weeks.
And I can tell you something else, guys, that I hope you get some peace out of. I've worked palliative care for a lot of years. I've
Right,
worked healthcare as CNA.
right.
One of the things that I've learned to recognize is our loved ones come for us when it's our time. We never pass alone.
Brilliant. That's a good to know, because a lot of people do get scared of that, don't they?
Mhm.
Especially if maybe they've... See, I find talking to a lot of people that's now like drug addicts or they're alcoholics or something, they feel a lot of the time that they've let their loved ones down. And they feel as if because they're in that space, if they died, they wouldn't see their loved ones, that their loved ones would kind of be in the huff with them.
That's not the case.
And I keep trying to say to them, listen, love is endless. They're going to turn up for you no matter what you're doing in the world. If you're at the stage you're going to cross, they'll come for you no matter what you've done. You just need to have empathy in your heart and be truly sorry if it's something bad. And your guys will always come for you. Your granny will always come for you, and she won't be strict on you, you know. Even if she was the one to give you a round life, she'll come for you and she'll be okay with you. You know, it's not your fault that life got to you and you done something wrong. We're human. We're all going to do something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of people don't think that people that commit suicide will cross.
Yeah.
They do. They go to heaven.
They'd probably cross more
In
than
some cases,
they're
stuff
struggling.
that has happened in their life, they kind of well, it's like with depression and stuff, you convince yourself that things are one way, but they're not in
Yeah.
actual fact. But some spirits that don't cross over are in that point in their growth. They're convinced there's something they need to finish or a message they need to get across before they can cross.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't realize that they can still do that on the other side.
See, I was scared that's what Billy was at. When I couldn't speak to Billy within that couple of years, I was scared that he was stuck and scared to cross over. Because of him being like a drug addict when he was alive, he probably stole off a lot of people, guys. He probably did a few things that wasn't such nice things. And I was scared that he was scared to cross over in case he was judged. But so that I was so glad when I finally did hear his voice come through the spirit box.
I've watched a lot of like the medium stuff, and I have some close friends in my family and stuff that are mediums. And the general thing that I've been told isn't so much that there is a life review, but it's more you, it's not that other people are judging you.
Right.
It's you're reviewing the main things in your life and you see how those things affected other people.
Yeah.
And stuff, but it's not like a judgment. It's more of, okay, this is where you went wrong. This is what you did to fix it. This is your growth.
Okay. Yeah.
Type of thing.
Makes more sense, yeah. I really was scared. I thought, oh, please, Billy, just know. And I kept saying it and things like, please, Billy, just know you will be forgiven. And at first, there was a female voice used to come through, and she used to say that Billy was travelling and he was in transition and different things he would say. So
yeah, there's a learning period.
I think it was his gran that was talking for him, or maybe an aunt or something, just to let us know that he was okay and that he was just on some sort of journey on the other side, you know?
Like you look at it this way, when you're born, you have to learn how to walk. You need to learn how to talk.
Mhm.
You need to learn how to feed yourself. It's the same when you cross from physical into spirit.
Right.
You have all this learning that you need to do in order to put yourself back into where you initially started.
Yeah.
Because each side of that you forget.
Yeah.
Each time you go back and forth, you forget certain things.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Do you know the thing that I keep saying about? I know I've got my cousin Stephen and things, guys. As is because, and he'd also died through drugs and things like that. More of a heart condition because of drugs. Stephen died from. Is the reason I keep going back to Billy is because Billy always said he would die when he was 28. He always had it in his head that he would die at 28. So do you think that he knew that, or do you think that was maybe just a subconscious thing that he didn't really
Possible.
believe? Right?
Nobody can really say for sure. It's possible.
Yeah.
Like
Because
I know from, again, going back to my healthcare, there's, you know how you get families, you've got a loved one, they have cancer, for example, just as a thing to use.
yeah,
And the family doesn't want that person to know
yeah.
that they have cancer, that they're terminal.
Hmm.
But I have noticed 9 times out of 10, guys, they don't have to be told. They know.
Yeah, true. Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So, like, there's so many aspects to the human nature that who's to say what people are meant to know or do know until the time comes.
True, Luna. Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. But I just, yeah, and I do believe now that Billy's settled. He's one of my guys. So there's Steve, and I talk to them often, and I know it's them. I can feel their energy. So I'm not getting any worries about that anymore. But at first, and it's just in case any of you guys have got worries about things like that. Misty,
Mm-hmm.
it's very open. They'll be able to tell you more than I can. So if you have got any questions, ask
Yeah,
her.
and before you think it, guys, I'm not an expert at anything.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. None of us are, really. You know,
Like
we're
I,
together trying to figure it out.
it's funny how things work with me. I open my mouth and it's like a download just kind of falls out through.
Right. Yeah, I
Like,
feel that. Mm-hmm. You don't know you're take over.
yeah, well, put it this way, good example, guys. I took a herbalism course that was a 3-year course.
Right.
I was done it in 8 months.
There you go.
And I got
You
100%, guys.
it.
And I got 100%.
Well,
So,
yeah.
and I have plants that are medicinal popping up everywhere around me. Like if I, for example, a good one is the mullein plant that showed up. It's so funny. Like I have a concrete and gravel drive, like walkway up to my door. So like you would think you would notice something that is considered a biennial plant, which means it only starts as leaves the first year. The
Right.
second year is when it flowers and produces seeds. And like the stalks are like usually taller than I am.
Right.
So you think walking in and out of my house, I would see
I've
this.
seen it.
I was really interested, like doing like the whole total, like gotta look this up, gotta research this online. And I was thinking, like, because I'm getting prepped this year is going to be my first year of really seriously growing my herbals for medicine.
Good.
And so you would think you would notice.
Yeah.
My husband goes, "Where did that come from?" Um, we went to bed, got up, and seriously, literally, the very next day, there was a mullein plant.
You must
Not
be.
only was it a mullein plant, it was 3.5 feet across.
Wow.
Like you picture a circle 3.5 feet around, and it had a huge stalk getting ready to flower.
That's crazy. How the heck did you not find that? See,
Exactly. There's no way you wouldn't see
no
it. But
way.
that's the stuff. Like I have honeysuckle and roses
I love honeysuckle.
blooming
Wow.
right now.
That's crazy. Where are you?
Sorry?
Where are you in America?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. So is it not supposed to be cold there?
We have gone through snowfalls. We have gone through negative temperatures.
Oh my goodness.
We had frost. We've had rain. There's no reason why I have chives growing that I know.
You've definitely got that energy then, that's for sure, that they want. And there must be a reason that it's growing there. So I would make sure that you've got plenty of mullein. Guys, Christina, it's live at 11, so we've only got essentially another 5 minutes and we are going off. So if there's anything that you are curious about that you want to ask Misty, just ask her. If she wants to answer it, she'll answer it. If she doesn't, she won't, guys. So it's completely up to you if you want to ask a question. Is there anything else you want to share with us, Misty, before we go?
No, that's it. This has been great. I thank you so much, Drew.
No problem. As I said, it's just like two friends chatting. You know, half the time I don't look at chat because I like to concentrate. And I'll usually, if I go back to it,
I spend a lot of time glancing at chat when I'm on live.
Yeah. Well, good.
Just, and that's why I miss all the stuff going on around me.
It's all the way to miss it, ignore it probably. Did you see any questions, guys?
Hi, Gothic.
Kerry's hoping to get Mullen this year as well. Well done.
You have a new member, Gothic.
Oh, Gothic, thank you very much. Thank you. Honestly, it means the world to me, guys, whenever you do something like that. Thank you very much. Honestly, I am very humbled by all of you, even watching me. I'm not joking.
Yeah, Scott, you have,
where is it?
Whether you realize it or not, you have a massive group of friends and family that when you cross over, it's like you're returning home. You're never alone.
You know, see, I try and say that. Listen, guys, my dad is starting to slowly come around. I've told all you that know me for a while, but my dad never been open to even discussing the spirit world whatsoever. Until that day, what happened? Liam was stuck somewhere and I couldn't get to him and I was crying and everything. I says, Dad, please come for me and take Liam. He's like, okay, I'll come and get you. And that minute I hit that car with him, it clicked to me. I says, Dad, what am I going to do when you die? I says, who am I going to phone when I really need something? And he's like, oh, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And I was like, do you realise that you are the only person in this world where I really need somebody to turn up for me that comes? I says, what am I going to do? He's, oh, you'll cope. But I was really emotional about it and I really needed to know the answer. I says, Dad, I need you for my self-preservation when you go, that you have to try and, if there's a way, contact me. You have to do it. Don't be silly.
Hey, Sherry.
Hi, sister. And I says to him, listen, Dad, I'm being serious. The only way I will ever cope when you go is if you promise me, if there's a way you can get through to me to talk to me, you'll do it. And I made him promise me. This was about last year, I think. And he's promised me, guys, if there's a way to come through, he will. Because I've always been a daddy's girl. I've always phoned him and he's came for me. But it hit me that day, mister, that he's not going to be here forever. The minute I stepped in the car, it went boom. Who are you going to get? That's
I think we all have
things. Yeah.
I think we all have this. Like, for me, it's my mother.
Right.
I constantly talk to my mother. And since I have opened up as much, she has opened up. She has these experiences all her life.
Right.
But she's never talked about it because in her generation, if you think about it, it wasn't as open.
Yeah. Hi, Sass. Yeah, I had to make him have that conversation with me, mister. My mum, I think she would already try. She's already kind of a little bit like that. So, but my dad, he was never open to it, wouldn't even discuss it or anything. But at that day, I felt so vulnerable. And I felt as if I would be so vulnerable without him. I had to make him promise. And I do believe, guys, he is getting more open to it and things. He does, as you know, he's went to Greyfriars with me. He's went to Stirling with me and things, to the cemetery. So he is becoming more open to it. So I do believe now if he passes before me, and my dad will probably live to older than me, guys. He's got more energy than me. I do believe he will try and make contact. I really do believe that now.
And watch for signs because...
Yeah, I will. It's because he's such a great influence in our life, Misty. He's always been that one person that's there for everybody. So, and right now he looks so vulnerable because he's getting so old looking. It's taking him a lot longer than it used to be to like go downstairs and things. And I noticed a lot of it tonight because I was actually in the house with him tonight. So it's just that me getting my brain round to, all that.
Realizing that he's not the same person he was.
Yeah. So that's
it's hard. It's really hard.
Oh, it's hard. Yeah, I bet it is, guys. Uncle Danny, hiya. That's what dads do. Yeah, I know.
Right, Danny?
So, yes, I just kind of made him promise that if there's a way and he goes first, that he better do it. Or I'll hunt him when I go. Well,
Oh
guys,
boy.
I'm going to go and let Christina get on for her show. And remember, pop in because the shows over on Christina's channel are amazing, guys. We all sit there for a few
And
hours.
thank you for bearing with my experiment, people.
No, don't be silly. I'm going to let you say goodbye in a minute, Misty. So say whatever you want to say. I'm going to go, guys. I'll say goodnight for tonight, and I will see you all very soon. But I'm going to leave the last words with Misty, and she can tell you all about her channel or anything she wants to tell you guys. And I will see you all soon. And she'll go and say goodbye to the guys if you want, Misty.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for coming to watch. I will be doing more stuff on my channel
Hi,
in
Jason.
herbal medicine and all kinds of stuff.
Good, good.
And
I'll
thank
put the
you
link
for
on the
bearing with me for my experiment.
No, that was interesting. Very good. Guys, and I will, for the people that watch the rerun, I will put Misty's channel in the description. So remember, please go over there and hit all the subscribe buttons, the bells, everything that's on there. And remember, and give her a watch as well if there's any videos on there. And get her watch hours up. We all need them. And remember, Mystical will be in the background watching, guys. She's still a little bit under the weather. So big hugs, sis. I hope you get better soon. And I'm going to end it here, guys, and say goodnight to you all. And I'll see you all on Christina's channel. Thank you, Misty, for doing this tonight.
Thank you.
I feel as if I know you a little bit better now. So I want to get to know a lot of you a little bit better. So we'll put the banner up, guys, just so that you all can say goodnight to each other. And maybe you want to put your link in the description, Christina, in case there's anybody want to jump over. Still getting used to this new computer.
Uh-huh.
There it's there, guys. Let's play the outro. Where is it? There we go. I'll see you all soon, guys.